Hey guys, it's Andrew, or Feel No Pain, and today I'm going to be doing a review of a newer game, which I know I originally said I would be doing mostly stuff that was kind of older and kind of more affordable and, you know, $10, $20, $30 games just to be like, hey, this is good, pick it up. But today I'm doing Dying Light. This game came out about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and I couldn't help myself. I saw a couple videos, decided I had to buy it. I got my income tax money, I could afford a $60 game, and I was like, I have to try it out. And about an hour into it, I was hooked, and I was like, I have to do a video for people that haven't seen anything about this or aren't sure about, you know, the actual play of it or anything. I just figured I had to. So, here goes. First off, this game is beautiful. I was pretty shocked the instant I saw it, and what got me is the fact that the in-game, just sort of the graphics and the visuals, are reminiscent of stuff you would see from, like, cutscenes from a lot of games just a few years ago. And the people look really impressive, just the textures and everything are really good. Everything's actually kind of the point where it's very detailed. I mean, here you can't read what's on those, but just the fact that they put so much into this, and there's actually a lot of cool little Easter eggs around. When you go out into the world, you'll find houses and stuff, and you'll find posters that are kind of making fun of stuff and sort of mocking a lot of sort of modern, I don't know, modern tropes, a lot of like zombie films and things like that, which is kind of real tongue-in-cheek because this game is a zombie game. It's very similar. It's actually by the makers of Dead Island, which was a game I personally loved. I kind of like the action survival zombie apocalypse type thing, and safe. But it's different in two big ways, and I'll start by showing those off real quick. As you can see, there are moments when this game gets a little bit chunky, a little bit frame rate stuff going on, but for how beautiful the game is, I'm okay with occasional. My last play, I actually had something happen, something on my computer loaded and like dropped the frame rate to like 10 for just a second. That was kind of obnoxious, but normally it runs at 60 with, you know, once in a while it'll drop to around 40, but it's nothing game-breaking by any means. But for that, I will get into the specs required to play this game. My computer, which was not cheap, and I only got a couple months ago, actually does not meet the recommended specs for this game, and that's pretty insane. Granted, my computer is not like top of the line, best thing ever, but it was advertised as, you know, play, you know, any modern game in full graphics and nonsense and all that, and I was like, yeah, that's all I need. Well, it does that, but barely. The minimum required processor for this is actually an Intel i5 3.3 gigahertz, and the recommended is an i5 3.4 gigahertz, which is, yeah, that's pretty up there. And then of course I think it's 4 gigs of RAM is the minimum, 8 gigs of RAM is the recommended. That's totally fine. 4 gigs of RAM actually isn't too insane. My old computer that probably wouldn't run this in the first place, based on the video card, which you'll see in a second. But my old computer had 6 gigs of RAM, so that's probably not an issue. But more of the issue is the video card. The minimum NVIDIA video card is a GeForce GTX 560. My old one had a 430 in it, I believe. It was actually the old-style motherboard that could only get up to a 460. After that, they changed the motherboard layout, and I'm not a huge technical guy, but I basically went in and looked, and it required the newer style motherboard to go above a 460. So you're going to have a relatively new computer to run this. I'd say probably anything in the last couple of years. But yeah, it's pretty intense, and as you can see, the graphical fidelity is pretty amazing. And I actually only have the foliage. I've got textures on high, but the foliage textures are only medium quality, and I mean, the way the wind interacts with things, the way everything moves, how it looks, it's just impressive. It's blows my mind, and I could probably spend hours just looking at stuff. But beyond that, beyond the fact that it does take a relatively powerful computer to run well, its optimization is really weird. And they've actually patched this, which is part of the reason why I felt okay doing this review as sort of a review rewind, because they've already patched one of the big problems. The view distance was a huge problem when it came out. People that had, like, SLI wasn't working, dual video cards wasn't really doing much, and people that had, like, Titans, like the GeForce Titans or I think it's 970s, were actually experiencing less than optimal frame rates. And that shouldn't happen. But what it was the view distance was so intense, so insane, that it was actually rendering things you couldn't even see, or it was rendering things that, like, at 1080p you couldn't tell a difference. Maybe they were doing that for the sake of 4K, but that's pretty insane. That's a little nuts. And it was causing frame drops pretty severely at full view distance. Now the funny thing is, at 1080p, I'm actually running 1920 by 1200, which is basically 1080p, but the 16 by 10 as opposed to 16 by 9 aspect ratio. But I'm gonna still call it 1080p. It works great, and at this resolution, you can actually put it on the lowest possible view distance, and the only differences you'll see are, like, minor differences out that far, like about where those trees are, and you'll see a little bit of texture stuff, but it's nothing you're going to notice. This game is about up-close combat, and even at the lowest view distance, you'll see zombies from blocks away. So it's not like you get that weird pop-in that you get in some games, where, like, I'll run across here and a zombie will just appear 10 feet in front of me because it hasn't loaded it. Now, even at the minimum view distance, you see zombies at, forever away, and that's all you need. You're good. As you've noticed, I guess this is kind of getting into the gameplay aspect a little bit, but one of the big differences between most zombie survival games, whether it even be something like Resident Evil or Dead Island, which this is much closer to, you can do parkour, which is really, really awesome. I don't know why this hasn't been done before, at least to this extent in a game like this, because it's just absolutely fantastic. I mean, what would you want to do in a zombie apocalypse more than just stay on the rooftops and stay away from things? I mean, sure, you can go down into the streets and fight all you want, but it's going to be difficult and dangerous, and sometimes you just need to stay away from it. Especially when this game has a day-night cycle, which is the second thing that's different. The night cycle gets insanely more difficult, and that's kind of cool because there's actually added bonuses for going out at night. I don't know if I can make this. Yes, I can. There's bonuses for going out at night. You get double XP. You get, I think there's something else too. I can't remember what. I can't remember if it's like double gold or something. Or regardless, there are bonuses for going out at night, and night is super difficult because the zombies are more aggressive, and there's hunter zombies, which are actually really brutal. They're actually they'll sprint at you and they'll go crazy, and let's see. But they'll sprint at you and they'll go nuts, and they actually, I don't believe if they can be killed, it's not by anything that I have used yet. They actually, I think can only be killed by, like, guns, or maybe, like, really high-powered... Oh! Yeah, I shouldn't have done that. Really high-powered weapons or something. But they're insane. They're actually... And games don't do this, ever. But they're actually faster than you. And you can dropkick zombies in the head. But they're actually faster than you, which is kind of insane. You actually have to use one of your little equipment items, which is this UV flashlight. It doesn't do anything to normal zombies, or at least not during the day, but during the nighttime cycle, you can use that to kind of stun the hunters because it actually affects them. I think they're kind of like, I guess you can consider them purebred zombies. They're, you know, they're not like these. They're not like these turned ones. They're actually like, I don't know how that works, but like I said, I haven't gotten that far into the game. I just had to make a video, so there's a lot I don't know yet, and that's actually okay, because I guess as far as for a review, this is kind of a first impressions, and that's how I'd rather do it, because I'm getting sort of this I don't know, it's unspoiled version of the game, this view of it, that, like, even if later on, if the story goes to crap, and I don't know, like I said, I have no idea, but if the story were to just become horrible, the gameplay is kind of what matters the most, and even if that were the case, I think it's just one of those things where the gameplay holds up so well. I don't think I would be upset with this game, even if the story was junk. Although, I can't imagine it would be. So far, the story's really cool. It's I don't know, kind of, it makes you feel kind of connected with the people in the game because, oh, broke a lockpick. But it makes you feel connected with the people in the game because they're all going through this struggle with you. And I'm not going to ruin anything, but there's sort of a side story to everything beyond you and these people just trying to survive. Oh, hello. Yeah. Cool. Those are things you can sell, actually. The pouches. Those are you can sell those to the people back at your little base, and then, you know, just get money so that you can buy other things, whether it be new weapons or whatever. Anyway, I'm getting completely off track, but it's kind of easy to do with this game. It's a little too easy to do with this game, actually. So I guess what I was getting at was, I know I said I'd always talk about sort of the time value and the cost value of games. So let's go with cost value. The cost value of this game, I would say, so far, looks amazing. It's $60 on Steam, which is the only thing that I said is unusual. Usually I'm not going to do AAA $60 games. But in this case, I think it was worth doing because it might not be for everyone. If you've never played a game like this, sort of an action parkour zombie survival, and there isn't a game like this, but if you like parkour games, you'll potentially like this. If you're a fan of Dead Island or zombie survival, you'll probably like this. If you've never played any games that sort of go with this genre, then I would actually recommend getting Dead Island first. I believe it's available on Steam, and I can't remember the price, but I think it's like 20 bucks. It's a few years old, but it would be a fantastic introduction. It kind of has made by the same people, so it has kind of a similar difficulty style, if you want to call it that. Hi. Okay. Yeah, it kind of has a similar difficulty style, whereas you can really get yourself in some pretty nasty situations, and that's cool. I like the ability to screw yourself over. That sounds like a bad thing, but it really means you kind of have to be aware of your surroundings at all time, and you kind of have to know ways out, and the parkour thing makes that so much better. because your ways out are are less limited. I was gonna say more limitless. I guess that's true too. But they're less limited because you can go up, you can go down, you can just completely say, screw it, I'm done with this place, and jump to another building. And these slow zombies can't do anything about that. These are kind of like the dumb... These are the sort of derpy zombies that... They're everywhere, as you can tell. They're just absolutely everywhere. But they're not a huge threat by themselves. But I have actually gotten taken down by a group of them. Huh. Okay, I can hear that. I've been taken down by a group of them because they just kind of get on all sides of you, and if you can't do anything about it, I don't know if you saw, but when you swing this, when you hit up that little orange bar, that's your stamina. And when you run out, that is pretty much game over. If you're stuck somewhere, you really can't do damage anymore. So, yeah, as far as the value of this game, if you like this style game, I would say $60 is worth saving up for, spending. If you have it, I mean, obviously, don't neglect other things in your life for it. I mean, it's still just a game. But it's one of those things that if you like this style game, if you played Dead Island, it's completely worth it. You won't regret it. The only thing, once again, check the specs. Make sure your computer will run it first. I do believe it's on console as well, so that's always an option too. I'm not saying anything against that, but since I'm doing a PC review, I figured it's only fair to focus on that more than anything. But ooh, that's a big guy. We know what we do to big guys. Now this is interesting. I will go on to the time value, but I want to show you this first. One, that's kind of like a mini-boss type zombie. He has a giant sledgehammer. I already met one of them. And that thing, I think, will insta-kill you. I didn't get hit by him, but when I picked up the weapon, it was like ridiculous amounts of damage. These, I think you can shoot them, but I haven't gotten guns yet. So what you can actually do, and this is so scary, you can hit them. And then, before they blow up, toss them. Yeah, you can. Noise draws the attention of dangerous virals. Beware. And beware you should. That didn't even kill him, so that's a little frightening. So, let's throw a Molotov at him and see what happens. Okay. You're gonna see virals come in here in a second. Virals are basically speedy super zombies. And they're no bueno. Unlike others, they will climb. They're basically like... They're basically partial zombies, because they will actually, as you saw, they will like beg for forgiveness. They're just like survivor zombies, which is absolutely insane. Oh, God. I don't know if that kills you, but that hurts you. Ooh. This guy, though. I'm gonna try to take him out. Ooh. I see something I want to play with. Come here. Oh, God. I'm dying. Oh, good. More virals. Die, please. Die. So far what I've seen, it's only 2 virals per, like, big explosion. If you decide to use one of those, it basically brings 2 of them after you, which, trust me, is plenty. That's enough. And I apologize for going silent there, but that got a little scary. This game does that, and it's great. Anyway, as far as time value, and that's kind of an interesting one for this, because time value, this game it's good. If you want to do story stuff, you will have to put a little time into it. You'll have to drop like an hour or so, at least if you're like me and you like to explore and all that. It takes about 45 minutes to an hour to do a story mission. But if all you want to do is kill some zombies, literally within 90 seconds of starting up the game, you can just go outside and you can kill stuff. There's nothing keeping you from doing that. And if you want to do both, that's fine as well, because you can actually spend time to do story missions, and if you do have a day where you have plenty of time to do stuff, to play, you can, you know, kill a bunch of zombies and then do story, and then kill a bunch of zombies and then do some side missions, and that's gonna hurt. Ugh. So, yeah, it's really up to you. You can play this game how you want, but as far as the time value, I think it's great, because the story holds up. Even if you don't do the story for a few days, it's been a couple days since I played it, and I came back in, I knew exactly who I was, who the characters were, what I was up to. The characters themselves aren't necessarily memorable, but the overall arcing story is. And it's a journal-based system, so you can always go in here and look and see your quests and side quests and read about them. So if you do, you don't lose that immersion, because the worst you have to do is read a couple lines and be like, oh, that's right, this is who I saved, this is what I'm doing next. I think on that last note, though, I'm coming right back here, because I got a little scared there. I purposely didn't do a mission on this just because I was trying to,
Hey, you're Crane, right?
Holy crap.
I heard him once.
But, yeah, I purposely didn't do a mission because I didn't want to get involved in it, and then this video would be like 2 hours long. But the other few things that are kind of cool that you should know is everything, Oh, okay. Everything has a number of repairs that you can do to it. I think most of them start at 3. Which means once their durability hits 0, you have to hold R like you would to reload in most games, in like shooters. And you hold R, and it repairs the durability to full, but you lose a repair. It takes 1 metal scrap, I believe it's called. Metal parts. Which you get plenty of those. But it takes 1 of those and lowers the durability. Lowers the number of repairs, repairs it to full durability. So once those are out, that weapon's gone. So if you get something amazing, like these modified weapons, which require, you get blueprints for things that adds electricity to attacks, or adds electricity to pipe, or adds fire to any of these. It takes a lot of sort of scavenging to get up the items to get those, to be able to do those things. And whatever you put it on is going to be more powerful. I believe this one, the water pipe one, is this one, the water current. Adds electricity. It adds 6 base damage plus medium amount of electricity damage. But once this is gone, once there's no repairs left, all I can do is disassemble it, and I think I get 1 metal scrap back. So you kind of have to decide whether you want to use your the stuff you find, all the scrap metal and everything that you find on those, because it's not permanent. It's not like you have a weapon and therefore you're just a god at all. Because eventually, if you go around slaughtering zombies, you'll just lose that weapon, and then all that hard work's gone. Now, this is actually a skill I just picked up, and it's kind of something I want to show. You saw the drop kick, which is you run, jump, and hit kick in midair, and you do that double foot drop kick, which just, you know, kills stuff. This allows you to... I was kind of hoping that would happen. And you can do that with anything. Oh. Do I lose that one? Oh, there's that one. There's that one. There's that one. Okay. But yeah, it's kind of cool. You can actually, it's an ability. It's part of your skills. I believe it's under power. Yeah, melee throw. Dealing massive damage, double tap right mouse button to aim and left mouse button to throw. So it gives sort of another level of, if there's something you don't want to get done, yeah, something you don't want to get close to, then that's fine. But you're also kind of, you know, wasting your weapons. I mean, you can pick them up, obviously, but they stick into them. So you kind of have to know when to use that and when not. If I'd used that on the big guy I fought, which I could have done, I probably would have thrown everything I had at him and been weaponless, and just, you know, he'd have still been alive, and I would have either had to go up and pull my weapons out of him or not. This is sort of, you are powerful, but you still have to be careful. And that's the kind of thing I really love about this game. That's how I view it anyway, is that you have to be, you have to survive, I guess. You are maybe a little bit superhuman at times, but there's still that very real feeling of, I could die at any moment if I screw up. And that's a great feeling in these kinds of games. So, bottom line, I know I might be repeating myself by saying this again, but it needs to be said. If this is your kind of game, and you can come up with $60 at some point in time, and you can run it, then get this game. It's great. The little bit of optimization, like I said, they've already fixed some of it, and I fully believe that they're going to keep working on that and patching it. And part B is, if you haven't played games like this, get Dead Island if you're at all curious after watching this, after seeing it. Check out Dead Island first, and give that a shot. But either way, in my book, this game's amazing, and I hope you guys feel the same way. I hope it convinces someone out there at least to try it out and give it a shot. And more than anything, I hope when you do, you love it as much as I do, because I'm kind of hooked. But for right now, it looks like I accidentally went into a spot where I was moving the story mission along. So I'm not going to spoil anything for you. I want to leave it at that. See you guys later.